What's happening, guys? I'm here with 𝐼𝐴 𝐿𝐴 and he's got a 2007 Jeep Grand Cherokee 𝗬𝐿𝐴 CRD.
CRD, yes.
Yeah, and that stands for what?
Common Rail Diesel.
It's got a diesel, folks. Take me through your 2007 Grand Cherokee, because this one's a bit different than, at one time I had a 𝗬𝐿𝐴, which was a 2004, and that was the last solid front axle. And that was a nice Jeep. It had the 4-liter, which was also the last year of the 4-liter, which I really like the 4-liter. That's a bulletproof style. You stepped up the 4-liter in bulletproofness though, and you went with a diesel. Right. Tell me a little bit about the diesel.
Well, in 2007, 2008 was the only years you can get a Mercedes turbo diesel engine in a Jeep. So when Mercedes still owned Jeep, it's the same engine they put in the Sprinter vans.
Okay.
So it's still a current engine, so you can still get parts and everything like that, but it's very rare. And in Florida, the biggest problem I had finding one is most of them are 2-wheel drive. This is a 4x4 and it has the quadra drive 2 system, which is the most desirable 4-wheel drive.
That's what I was going to ask you, because a lot of times when you get upgraded models like these, they're going to come with an all-wheel drive style setup. So this is a 4-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive?
Well, this is full-time 4-wheel drive.
Okay.
With a low range.
Okay.
And it has quadra drive too, so it has the actuated limited slip.
So that's like Jeep's proprietary deal that they have.
Right.
So does that eliminate the need for lockers, or?
It will lock the axle. Some people argue because when the wheel slips is when it activates, and some of those people say, well, when it's slipping, it's already too late.
Gotcha.
But some people have wired up switches so they can manually flip the switches and lock the actuators.
And lock them.
I haven't done that, but there are people, especially in Australia, have done it.
That's a pretty cool setup. Yeah. What size tires?
Those are 32s. When they wear out, I'm just going to put 33s on.
33s, yeah. I think 33 is a good size tire. Yeah. So take me through the suspension, because obviously it's not stock, right? It's not. Now, you said that you got like 6 different suspension parts on here.
Well, it's a Super Lift 4-inch kit with OME HD springs up front. So it's another 2-inch lift, so it's a total of 6 inches. With the weight and everything, and it actually came out to about 5 1/4 with all the steel bumpers on this thing. And in the rear, I have a rough country 2-inch spacer to go along with the Super Lift components. Okay, so you got the shocks are a 4-inch lift, and then you got a 2-inch spacer in the back, right? Yeah, plus the 2-inch OME lift. Okay. That's how I get the extra lift. Yeah. We talked a little bit last night, Joseph, about the front bumper, and you went with ARB. And one of the reasons that I really like ARB front bumpers is the fact that their whole premise is you can hit livestock or an animal or something like that. It's not crippling in the sense that it's going to leave you stranded. Right. You can still get home off the trail. It tosses the animal away. Yeah, and it doesn't destroy your front end and different things like that. But you brought up another good point about ARB bumpers too. What was that you were saying? ARB, and I have multiple ARB bumpers over the years. And one of the reasons I picked them is because they're the only off-road bumper that I know of, at least here in the United States, that's airbag compliant. You put a steel bumper up front, you're going to change the way the airbag deploys. You'll usually have the airbag deploy when it normally shouldn't. And that becomes a problem when you put your insurance claim in for the $2,000 airbag and they say no. Wow. You've got rock sliders down here. Yep. These are all steel, you said? They're made by Rocky Road Outfitters in Utah, as well as the roof rack is all steel, and that's made by Rocky Road as well. Dude, that's a lot of weight. Yeah. Steel everything. Yeah, that's why I needed the extra lift. That's why I couldn't do the 4-inch lift wasn't enough. I needed the extra. Yeah, that's it. So, and then you also got a steel bumper back here. I do. This is made in Georgia by a company called Wham bumpers. They're pretty cool. They have tons of customization options. You just tell them what you want. They do a lot of Nissan bumpers, which you don't see a lot of people doing Nissan bumpers. But they do one for this, and swing arm, jerry can holder. I really like it. And all that steel too. Yeah. And it has the integrated receiver hitch as well. So he was just telling me about his max coupler hitch right there. It rotates 360 and then goes up and down. That's pretty cool. Yeah. That's probably a little bit smoother than some of the other styles, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. Take us through what you're towing. This is my custom frame-up trailer. A friend of mine in Georgia built it for me. It's really based on a military trailer. He makes one of these a year, and last year was my turn. And so he said, Joseph, if you want it. And it took him about 7 months to deliver it. And I went up to his house and picked it up. But it's great because when I'm traveling, the platform is, the weight of the tent is over the axle. When I deploy it, I use an impact gun, and this scissor lift pushes it up and forward. And then so I have plenty of room to deploy the awning and things like that. Yeah, I have an impact gun, and I also use it for levelers and everything else. It's a great system. And then of course the whole deck flips open, and all my stuff is in there.
Okay, so it just flips open from the other side there.
Yeah, it's hinged on this side, and the whole thing lifts up. And of course there's the tailgate here, which has the, you know, mandatory fridge on a slide, and that's all my kitchen stuff in that box right there. Okay, cool. Seeing the fridge and seeing the Red Arc sticker leads me to my next question. What kind of electronics do you have? Well, I have 2 100 amp hour lithium batteries powering this. Okay, what kind? By 𝗬𝐿ion. Okay. Company I work for, we deal in tons in 𝗬𝐿ion. I mean, we buy pallets of this stuff. You really can't see them because I have it under this blanket to keep them warm. Okay. But if you look right here, there's a thermostat. You can see the current temperature, and this is the thermostat temperature. I have heating pads on there. So if it gets down to 38.5, as you can see, it'll start heating the batteries. Lithiums don't like getting cold. Because lithium you can't charge when it's cold. Yeah, and I just put a wool blanket over the whole thing, and yeah, I don't think they've ever had to kick in, and I've camped in 20 degrees this year. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously you're using it. I mean, as you can hear from behind us, we're at the beach right now, so sorry for the noise. With that, you're able to charge it from the truck. Do you have any solar or anything like that? Yeah, there's a solar panel. In fact, this is the solar input. Okay. Because the Red Arc also has an 𝗵𝐵ci controller. Okay. And I just lay the solar panel on the back deck. When this is up, there's plenty of room. So you just deploy it whenever you get to wherever you're going. The truck charges it while you're moving. I try to point the trailer south so that it's always in the sun, and then I don't have to worry about putting it somewhere. It's just That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Really cool, really cool. Listen, I really like your rig. I think that this is a really cool rig. I really like the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Obviously, Jeeps are synonymous with off-road, so there's no question that it can go off-road. What's the furthest you've been? How long is the longest amount of time that you've spent in it? From Florida, the biggest trip this thing's been on is the Georgia Traverse. Okay. So, and keep in mind, I live in Fort Lauderdale, so I have to drive far to anything, really. For sure, I drive 5.5 hours to be here today. So I spent a lot of time behind the wheel on this, but the biggest trip it's been on with the trailer has been the Georgia Traverse, which I did solo. It was also my first trip towing a trailer, so I figured dive right in. But now we also talked that you have dual citizenship, right? Yes, I do. And tell us about your other rig that you have out there in Utah. In Utah, I have a Jeep Liberty CRD, which is a even more rare turbo diesel Liberty. So if you're looking for diesels, Joseph is the one that can find them, evidently, because he's got all the rare ones. Man, I really appreciate you taking us through your ride. No problem. I really like your ride. I think that it qualifies for a badass build. Let us know in the comments, what's your favorite part about Joseph's ride?